Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're once again going to talk about several leaks that I've managed to gather, and honestly, they're pretty interesting to discuss. As usual, all of this information comes from sources that are considered fairly credible. But before we get into the discussion, running out of stellar jade and Honkai starrail? Don't worry, there's a more budget-friendly solution. Now you can top up in-game safely, quickly, and at a lower price through U7 Buy. And it's not just Honkai starrail, other games are available too, all in one place. Still not sure? No problem. You can check U7 Buy's reviews directly on Trustpilot, so it's transparent and trustworthy. For comparison, 80 oniric shards cost around $100 in the official store, but on U7 Buy, it's much cheaper. The process is also instant. Just select your server, enter your UID, and the balance is delivered straight to your account, no hassle. Don't forget to use code BOOM for a 5% discount. Click the link in my description or pinned comment to visit U7 Buy. Alright, let's jump into the main topic. For today's video, we're going to cover several new pieces of information that are quite interesting and pretty diverse. Previously, we talked about updates from Anon leaks regarding Blade SP, and also discussed what's actually going on with Fate Collaboration Part 2, which up until now is still a mystery within the community. If you feel like you missed that discussion or want more context, I highly recommend checking out that video first. Now in this video, we're going to talk about something that can be considered pretty positive, or you could even call it good news. And honestly, that's refreshing, especially after some of our previous discussions were filled with bad news. So today, we'll be covering the latest development regarding the 4.3 beta, which previously became a big question mark since it hadn't been released yet. On top of that, we'll also go over some additional new information about Blade SP, which has been receiving continuous updates from various sources lately. And this is completely normal, considering we're getting closer to the 4.3 beta phase. So naturally, more information about Blade SP is starting to surface. Of course, all of this information comes from fairly credible sources. So with that said, what exactly are the updates? Let's start with the first topic, the 4.3 beta. As we all know, up until now, the 4.3 beta hasn't started yet. This is quite unusual compared to the usual pattern, where beta testing for the next version typically begins a few days before the main version release. In theory, the 4.3 beta should have started last Tuesday, exactly one day before version 4.2 was released globally. But in reality, that didn't happen. This situation has naturally sparked a lot of speculation within the community. Could it be that Hoyoverse is preparing something big for version 4.3, which requires additional time before the beta can begin? Or perhaps this delay is intentional, meant to keep players focused on the 4.2 anniversary content so that the hype around it doesn't get overshadowed by leaks from the next version? Whatever the reason may be, one thing is clear, the 4.3 beta has indeed been delayed. However, as I mentioned earlier, we finally received some good news regarding the 4.3 beta. This information comes from Seal Leaks. I understand that some of you may still feel skeptical about this source, especially since they previously shared inaccurate information regarding the 4.2 beta schedule. But it's important to remember that in the world of leaks, no source is 100% accurate all the time. That's why we always need to stay critical and avoid fully trusting any leak, especially when it's labeled as subject to change, which you should already be familiar with. So, Seal Leaks shared a pretty interesting post. According to them, the 4.3 beta is scheduled to officially start on April 29th, which falls on a Wednesday. This is slightly different from the usual pattern, where beta phases often start on Tuesdays. If this information turns out to be correct, then as of the time this video is being made, we only need to wait a few more days before we can finally see the gameplay of a highly anticipated character, Morton X Blade, or Blade SP. Of course, this is exciting news for players who have been waiting for this character for a long time. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. There are no other credible sources confirming this information yet. At the moment, only Seal Leaks has shared this 4.3 beta schedule. So for now, all we can do is wait and see over the next few days. Now that we've covered the beta, let's move on to the next topic, one of the main characters expected to appear in that version, Mortonak's Blade. For this discussion, we're looking at something very interesting, and more importantly, it comes from a source that can be considered 100% reliable. Unlike typical leaks, this one comes directly from the official side, Honkai itself. What we're going to talk about here is Blade SP's transformation form, or what we can call his second form. Some of you might already be familiar with this since it was officially released, but it's still worth discussing in more detail. For those who might have missed it, a few days ago, Honkai released the usual pom-pom gallery sticker pack following the global release of version 4.2. Normally, this sticker pack includes characters featured in the latest version. However, what's surprising is that among those stickers, there was one of Blade SP that looked very different from the others. If you take a closer look, the design of this sticker is noticeably different from the standard Blade SP sticker next to it. This strongly suggests that the sticker is actually representing Blade SP's second form or transformation state. What makes this even more interesting is how visually similar this form looks to Nanak, the Aeon of Destruction. In fact, at first glance, I even thought it was a sticker of Nanak. But after taking a closer look, there are some clear differences. For example, while both have white hair, the skin tone of this form appears to be more dark gray, whereas Nanak has a brown skin tone. In addition, the symbol on the body is also different. Nanak has a slash-like mark that emits golden blood. This symbol represents a permanent wound caused by Aha, the Aeon of Elation. Meanwhile, Blade SP's symbol looks more like a flame shaped like a flower. Hoyover's decision to release this sticker is quite surprising, because in a way, it feels like they're indirectly giving us a teaser, or even an official leak, of Blade SP's transformation design. This also strengthens previous information from multiple sources that mentioned Blade SP having transformation abilities. With this visual evidence, it becomes much more likely that this transformation mechanic is real. And naturally, this makes a lot of players, including myself, even more curious about how this transformation will actually work in-game. How will the animation look? How will his skills change? And how much impact will this have on his overall gameplay? Especially if the 4.3 beta is starting soon, we won't have to wait much longer to get those answers. So what do you guys think about Blade SP's second form design based on that sticker? Do you think it looks cool and promising, or does it not quite meet your expectations? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Alright, and with that, we've reached the end of today's discussion. Thank you so much for your time and for watching this video all the way through. Don't forget to share this video with your fellow Honkai Star Rail players so they don't miss out on the latest updates. Your support through likes and subscriptions truly means a lot and helps this channel continue to grow and deliver more in-depth and high-quality content in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next discussion.